Aloha and welcome to 9th Island RC. Yes, we are outside, and honestly I just thought I would do a relatively short channel update. A lot of channels do have channel updates. I have not done any, and I do apologize for that, as well as for not having a lot of videos, especially lately, and even more so when I promised that I would have a part 3 on the XTS F10 to XTS S10 conversion, as well as the second video on the Rollercoaster SBK 10 Stormbreaker. And in all honesty, my job, unfortunately, is a major cause of that. I, for those who don't know, am a charter bus driver here in Las Vegas. And so my schedule can constantly change. As a matter of fact, I don't even refer to it as a schedule. I actually call it an anti-schedule because it can change day by day. One day I might start at 8 in the morning. And another day I might start at 4 in the afternoon. And another day I might start at 2 in the morning, especially near the end of the school year when we start doing all of those Disneyland and Universal Studios and Magic Mountain trips. So, unfortunately, that does cause a lot of problem for me doing videos. And I don't get the chance to get out and just enjoy I'd like this. I mean, today is an absolutely gorgeous day. And unfortunately, sometimes I may work 5 days in a week. I may work 7 days in a week. As a matter of fact, I'm just using last March as an example. I worked every single day. I had no days off. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean, literally, I had no days off. I worked 31 days straight, no days off. That is the unfortunate side of this line of business. Another reason why I have not had much free time is that I've been working on this. This is my 2023 Honda Shadow Phantom. And, for those who know the bike, may actually know that, this is definitely not stock. So, I've been doing, matter of fact, just a few days ago, I'm not going to touch it because it's hot, but I just put on this new exhaust. And so I've been spending a lot of time working on the bike. Air intake, fuel management computer. What looks like a GPS over here is actually not a GPS. That is an Android Auto and Apple CarPlay display that, it can work as a GPS because it's going to rely on the GPS of the phone. And then it displays all that plus the camera information, air tire pressure, all that. But, so that is a major reason why I have not had any free time to work on RC when I have free time. But that being said, I am working on some other stuff right now. This bike for now is finished. I do have some more stuff that I want to get done with it, but for right now, it's done. I'm not going to be working on any more of it for at least several months, possibly for a year. So, what do we have for the channel coming up? So, as I said, I will have that part 3 of the F10 to S10 conversion. I will have the second video for the Rollercoaster SBK 10 Stormbreaker. I have a project video related to a Rollercoaster vehicle that I will be working on soon. Most of the parts have arrived. I am waiting on one last part. And then something I've been planning for a while. And this is because I've actually gotten a number of, PMs through Facebook. Some people that have contacted me from email, and sometimes even comments. A lot of times we talk about speedrun cars, and it can be a very expensive aspect of the hobby to get involved in. You see a lot of people that do their speedrun videos. I personally do not do any speedrun videos because I don't want to put down those that are doing them, but I'm not doing it to prove anything to anybody else. I do it for my own personal interest to see what I can achieve, and the speedrun aspect I don't do for other people. But I have had people ask me, how can you build an inexpensive, or technically, to use the words that they put, how do you build a cheap speedrun car? And I'll cover this in this video series that I'm talking about, but I will be doing a video series on building an inexpensive speedrun car. And the reason I'm differentiating between inexpensive and cheap is cheap typically denotes low quality. And I don't plan on using any low quality parts. I do plan on using inexpensive parts that are high quality, but relatively low priced. And the vehicle that I've selected for this is also a relatively inexpensive RC. So I'm actually going to do a multi-part series on how to build up an inexpensive speedrun car, but I will not be doing any actual speedruns on video for that. Again, when I do speedruns with the vehicles that I have for that, honestly, it's just for my own personal interest. It's for my own personal gain, seeing if I can achieve something or just to see what I can achieve. And I don't care about boasting about it. I mean, I know my speeds are way lower. When you look at people like Raj Schifrin and Sean Marsh, these are people that are out there showing what they've achieved. And Roz, I will admit, he does do videos on upgrading stuff, so it will be somewhat similar to that, but it's still going to be focused on how to build a speedrun car as inexpensively as possible. But there you have it. That is my channel update. And again, I apologize for not getting much content done, especially over the last year. Again, I have been working on this in most of my free time, and with my job, unfortunately, I don't tend to get a lot of free time. So, with that said, mahalo, and until next time.